Hey, good evening. My name is Sabrina. We are doing our book club. Amanda Francis, Rich as Fuck. How's the book club going? Have you been doing your reading? Are you doing your homework? Well, we got some good stuff to discover today. We are on chapter 2, doing the work. So the last chapter we talked about what do you really want. Step 1, get clear on what you really, really want. And I like how Amanda says, some people say, well, I don't know. I don't really know what I want. And she said, bullshit. She didn't actually say it, but basically she does. She's like, bullshit, you know what you want. Like, you know what you want. And the reason you're not acknowledging what you want or you're not saying it out loud is because you're afraid once you admit what you want out loud, then you have to look at why you don't think you're worthy of having it. And I thought that was such a great, brilliant aha moment. We always think of manifesting, or I guess I always think of manifesting as, become resistance free. You got to get into alignment to, as Abraham would say, it's in your vortex and you have to be in alignment so that it can, it can manifest into you, right? It can come to you, right? Because it's already there. It's already done. It's already in your vortex. It's already there. And the reason, and people will say, well, I want all of the millions of dollars that are in my vortex in my bank account. And Abraham says, then you got to become in alignment. You got to become resistant free. So I had never considered that the reason a manifestation is unfulfilled as a self-esteem issue. But I mean, it's simple now that I say it. It makes perfect sense. Because, if you don't think you're worthy of something, it can't manifest. It doesn't matter how happy I get. Like, if I don't think I'm worthy of having it, it can't come to me. I'm not a match to it. So I've kind of misidentified, like, because I can get really, really happy. I can be, really full of joy. But that doesn't, if my self-esteem set point, if my self-worth set point believes that I don't deserve it, that I'm not worthy of it, then I can't actualize it. So this is such a huge, huge, huge takeaway. So what is step 2? So step 2, according to Miss Amanda, step 2 is notice what limiting beliefs say you can't have it. And so this is where she gets into, now it's your job to find the lie. Now it's your job to find the lie. I like how Access talks about lies. They talk about something, there's truth with a lie attached to it. So it's your job to find the lie, right? So, and she's using money, which obviously the book's about money. So she talks about you got to find the lie. So maybe you're afraid to have a lot of money because you think it will all go to taxes, right? And you discover that. Well, she's like, okay, let's look at that. Is that really true? Will all the money actually all go to taxes? Well, no, there's a lie, right? Does money go to taxes? Yes, there's a truth. Does all of it go? There's a lie attached to it. No, it doesn't. Plus, you can be smart with it. You can hire people to help you do your taxes with the most amount of smartness, right? Like working with people to help you understand how the tax system is just a strategy. My mom is an expert tax accountant. So she would teach us how there's these tax benefits by being an entrepreneur. Well, a lot of people don't know that there's tax benefits by being an entrepreneur because no one has shared that with them. They weren't surrounded by anybody that had that wisdom or knew that seed, right? So get clear. What is your limiting beliefs? What are you afraid of? Find the lie. Find a lie to it. Some people will say, well, if you get a lot of money, it makes you greedy. Is that the truth? Could there be some people that are greedy with money? Yeah. But were they greedy before money? Probably. I like how Oprah always says that money just makes you more of who you already were. Just kind of amplifies what you already are, who you already are, what your personality already is. It just makes it bigger. So if you're not an asshole right now, if you're not a greedy person right now, is money going to make you turn into a greedy person? Right? Is that the truth? It's up for you to decide. Where's the lie in it? Or this one I thought was really, really good. She talks about the lie of, if a lot of money, maybe you want to make $1 million, multi-million, whatever it is that your set point is that makes your heart desire, if I make a lot of money, I'm taking away from somebody else, so somebody else, like somehow it can be hurting someone. And I like how Abraham would always say, you can't get sick enough for someone else to access well-being, right? Like by limiting yourself, right? By limiting what your possibilities are for yourself, it doesn't make somebody else get wealthier, right? Like somebody else isn't getting money because you're not stepping into your full potential. Like with how Abraham would say for illness, you can't go and get sick enough so somebody else like has a turn, like their well-being changes because you allowed yourself to get so sick. Or oxygen, oh, if I breathe too much oxygen, somebody, in the city or the state won't have enough because I like hoarded all the oxygen, right? Like that, there's a lie, right? It's perhaps well-meaning, but nonetheless, there's a lie. So get clear on your job now. Find out what your limiting beliefs are. Find out what you're telling yourself. Find out where you don't feel that you're worth it. Tell the truth. Why do you think you're not worth having? What is it that you want? And why do you think you're not worthy of it? That is so powerful. Okay, then step 3 is, so we know what we want. We find our limiting beliefs. And then step 3 is deciding. Step 3. Decide how you want things to be for you. And you got to make that decision, right? Life is a choice. And then when you decide, something powerful happens, because when you decide, you have an internal decision and an energetic decision, right? So that your decision and your choice for what you want. And you get to choose. You get to choose it, right? You get to choose how you want things to be. You get to choose, if you have your own business, you get to choose what kind of clients you want to pull to you. You get to choose what kind of interactions you want to have with people. You get to choose. She gives the example of dating. Like, oh, I'm a successful woman, and men, I have a hard time with dating because men are intimidated by my success. And she's like, that's just, like, you get to choose, flip it. Like, and so then she gives an example of how you could flip that and say, oh, wow, I'm meeting more and more men who are inspired and love that I'm a badass businesswoman. Oh, wow, I'm meeting a lot of men who are successful, and we have stimulating conversations about, how our money strategies or how we created our success or, whatever. Like, but so flip it. Like, you get to have these thoughts, right? You always get to have these thoughts. So why not flip the thoughts to make them work for you? And so then that leads to step 4. And step 4 is shift your state, right? Your state of being. That's your responsibility. And then she says, let me read you this part. I thought this was really good. She said, okay, so this is on page 39. She said, like we said in chapter 1, everything is energy and everything has energy. Energy is created by your thoughts, the thoughts you think, the thoughts you feel, the images you imagine, and so forth. Therefore, when you feel better about money, you create a new reality with money. You are responsible for what you think. And then she gave some ideas of, or she goes ahead to give ideas of how you can feel better about money. Like, instead of, like, if you're at the grocery store and you're paying your bill, like, you can pay, like, your groceries, like, oh my gosh, prices are going up, like, oh my, whatever, whoa, victim, complain. Or you can be like, you know what, I'm so lucky. I have enough money to pay for my groceries. I have enough money that I can pretty much put what I want in the grocery cart, and I can afford it. I get to eat foods that I really, really like, and I have enough money that I get to pay for it. Like, I'm so happy that I am at the grocery store getting to nourish my body with these delicious, yummy flavor foods, right? So, like, you're there, so why not, like, flip it and feel good about it? Or getting in your car, or even when you're at your home, right? Like, do you have heat? Do you have electricity? Can you turn the AC on if it's really hot? Like, oh my gosh, you're so lucky. You're so lucky when it's time to pay that bill. You're so lucky that you can afford to be in a house where the temperature is a nice, comfortable temperature for you. And then the other thing that I wanted to share too, when she says you are responsible for your thinking, if you haven't listened to it, Bentino has a fantastic article, kind of like an article. It's 2 pages that he wrote called My Declaration of Free Will. And it's an article all about sloppy thinking and how, you know, we've been programmed to be sloppy thinking. We were raised by people who were sloppy thinkers, and they were raised by sloppy thinkers. And like, it's normal just to be, you know, to get together and to complain and to be sloppy and, you know, to criticize. But he's like, he, in the Declaration of Free Will, he really encourages you to like take responsibility for your thoughts. You can train yourself, right? He talks about you're like a powerful being, and you were born powerful, and you have the ability to train your intentions and your thoughts and your words. And then you're like such a contribution, not just for yourself, but for those around you and the planet at large, is one of the things he says. But so My Declaration of Free Will, I actually made a video where I just read what he wrote, so you can find it on my channel too. Or else just Google him and read it. But I thought that was really good. So start noticing, like, what are you thinking about? And then she says, your mind is powerful as fuck. So choose your thoughts, program your mind, focus your energy intentionally. It takes practice, she says. Feel your emotions so you can make space to create and sustain new and more helpful ones by a new way of doing things for you. So that's why, like, this is the work. Like, instead of just functioning on autopilot, thinking the same thoughts every day, day after day, look at the areas that you'd like to change your set point and do the work. Find out what you would like your set point to be. What do you desire for yourself? Where are your limiting beliefs? And then prove them wrong. And then choose, decide, right? Make a choice, and then change your state. And then she talks about, like, it does get easier, right? Learning to think a new way and to have excuse me. Sorry about that. So she talks about, you know, like it's work, but it does get easier. And then on page 43, I like how she says, I know my thoughts, beliefs, words, actions, and energy are the common denominators for every situation in my life. I am in charge of me. And then she says, things that used to seem impossible will become regular, then automatic. Having more and more becomes normal. Less and less effort will be required. You know what your job is? Your job is knowing how worthy you are. Expanding what you believe is possible for you, taking inspired actions, and allowing the desired results to come in. And as you begin this way of living, thinking, conducting yourself, it will become natural. It will become normal. It will get easy and automatic. You can count on yourself to attract it over and over again. It becomes a part of your identity. I love that. Like, won't that be like so great, just to identify yourself as someone who has power and focus over your thoughts and feelings and attraction, your set point, and you identify yourself as someone who can actualize whatever heart's desires. Boom, something happens tonight, you're doing something and you get hit with, like, oh my gosh, I would love that. I never even thought about that before. I would love to actualize that in my life. I would love to summon that, to pull that into my life. And then if you identified with a person who knows that that's possible, you identify with a person who has the self-worth, the self-esteem, and the skills. Like, because once you learn these skills, right? Once you learn these skills, you use them any area of your life. And just keep repeating it. Keep repeating it. Once you have the formula, just keep repeating it. And that's why you got to do the work. And then you got to customize the work for you. Like, so what works for me isn't going to be what works for you. That's why you got to do the work. Figure out, like, how is your mind working? How are you functioning when you get frustrated, like, and worried or anxious about things? So what could you do different? Like how are you going to set this up for you? Customize, right? Like, and I think that's really important, that it's got to be customized. I think that's a big reason that people like get frustrated with the law of attraction, because what works for one person isn't gonna like be how another person changes their set point, how they change their beliefs or their programs. So so she just talks about, you got to do the work. Your job is not to make yourself wrong. Your job is to notice and continually keep shifting. And, oh, I really like this. I got to read you this from page 44. She says, this is like, so if you're feeling stuck, if something's not working, this is what you do. This is so good. Okay, 44, write this down. So your job is to notice and continually shift your thoughts. Here's how. When you notice a thought about money that doesn't feel good, simply say, what if this wasn't true? Followed by, I wonder what could be truer. Then perhaps say to yourself, I am willing to see this differently. Help me see this differently. From there, other possibilities or new ways of seeing things may pass through your mind. Did you get that? Like, wasn't that really, really good? So, like, when you have a negative thought or a limiting thought or a fear-based thought or a worry thought, doesn't matter what it is, but when you have a thought that doesn't feel good, right? You know it doesn't feel good because you're thinking it. And you can feel like it's heavy in your body. It doesn't feel good. So you say to yourself, what if this wasn't true? Right? Like, it's taking, like, maybe the thought is like, it's taking so long to actualize my success. Like, I started this business, or I'm making these paintings and I'm trying to sell them. It's taking so long to find clients to buy my paintings. Okay, that thought doesn't feel good. Like, that's depressing. It's taking so long. Like, who wants to wait a really long time? So then you say, is this true? What if, like, that thought isn't even true? Followed by your next thought, what could be truer? And what could be truer is the right clients are looking at your website right now. The people that are for it are having the conversations, and someone's telling them about your paintings or the work that they saw, or they stumbled across your information, and that conversation could be happening right now. Like, that could be more true. I mean, if you're going to take the time to sit and think about something, why not think about something that feels better? And then I like how she says, be willing to say, I am willing to see this differently. And then she says, help me to see it differently. And like, for her, she talks to God. And for you could be talking to yourself, your inner being, or whoever you believe could help you see it differently. But it's asking an open-ended question. And whenever you ask an open-ended question, that's how you open up possibilities. Open-ended questions are like the trick for everything. I love that. What else could be more true? She says, this isn't about positivity for the sake of positivity. This is about knowing how to shift your internal state to create and attract intentionally and on purpose. And then she says, it doesn't mean you're going to like never feel bad or have doubts or blah, blah, blah. You're human, you're gonna, but it means, it does mean you are wildly capable, deeply worthy, and destined for greatness. It means you are okay, you are on your way. It means it's not too late. It means unequivocally, the best is yet to come for you. Unequivocally, the best is yet to come to you. Oh, isn't that so good? That's so good. So that is the homework. That is the homework. What's step 4, page 46? What do you really, really want? What beliefs say you can't have it? Step 3, how do you want money to work for you? Start writing the new story, how you want money to work for you. And then 4, what would you be thinking and what would you be feeling if you already had what you wanted? Then she asked another open-ended question that I thought was good. The last question, here we go. You ready for the last one? If you were able to fully step into the identity of your future self, the woman who has completely normalized having money, what would you be feeling right now? That's the best question of the whole chapter, isn't it? Okay, let me ask you again. If you were fully able to step into the identity of your future self, so you own her, she's who you are, the identity, how you define yourself, how you describe, label, believe yourself, the worthy woman that you are. If you were able to fully step into this identity, the woman who has completely normalized having money, what would you be feeling right now? Isn't that going to be so fun? I love how, like, it's normal, like having your money or having your dreams, whatever it is that you want. It's going to be your normal. It's going to be your normal, right? It's just going to be normal. And that's why your set point is always going to keep changing, because once you've normalized, right, you've normalized your next target, your next goal, then you're going to have another goal, which she'll talk about in the book, but you're going to have another goal, and then you're going to, right, you're going to acclimate to that, you're going to adjust to that. You have all these basic tools now, and then you're going to use the same tools to actualize the next set point, the next place, the next desire you have. And then it's going to be your normal, right? It's going to be your normal. You're going to shift, you're going to make the change. And money, your savings account, your bank account, your fun money, your play money, you're donating money, you're investing money, like, it's going to be normal. It's going to be your normal. And to try to remember back on this day when you were watching this video, you'll be like, oh, wow, I was such a different person back then. I like bought into so many lies. I believe so many bullshit programs. That's so funny. I can't even believe I bought into those lies. I can't even believe, like, I wasted, like, time and energy on bullshit ideas and bullshit beliefs. Won't that be fun? So we are done with chapter 2. Next time I see you, it'll be chapter 3.